My name is Claire Donovan. I'm 35 years old. The night I walked into the house with a termination letter folded in my purse, my brother didn't ask what happened. He asked if I'd already paid the electric bill. My mother didn't look surprised. She just sighed like something inconvenient had finally arrived. My father didn't say a word. He stood up, walked past me, and opened the hallway closet where we kept the storage bins. He pulled one out and set it on the floor. Then another. And another. He didn't ask me to leave, he just started packing. Right there in front of my cousin, in front of the neighbor who had stopped by for coffee, in front of everyone who had spent years watching me quietly fund that house. He said my brother needed stability. I stood there holding a leather bag that had carried 15 years of paychecks, insurance policies, and mortgage confirmations in my name. None of it mattered. What they didn't know, what none of them knew, would have changed everything. But by the time they found out, I was already gone. Before I take you back to that night, I'd appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now let me take you back to a Thursday afternoon in April, the day everything shifted. The conference room at Hollis & Grant always smelled faintly like stale coffee and printer ink. That day, it smelled sharper, colder. My manager sat across from me with HR beside him, a folder resting neatly on the table. My name printed on the tab. "Company restructuring," he said. "We're reducing staff across departments." 10 years. 10 years at that firm. Not one warning. Not one bad review. I signed the papers, took the envelope, declined the escort, walked out. In the parking lot, I sat in my car for 9 minutes. I counted every second. Then I called someone I trusted. "Ethan," I said. "It happened." There was no pause. "Then it's time, Claire. Chicago is ready. When are you coming?" I should have said immediately. Instead, I said, "Let me go home first." He didn't argue, but he didn't sound convinced either. The drive back to my hometown took 40 minutes. Past the gas station, the diner, the same cracked sidewalks I'd walked since high school. When I pulled into the driveway, I counted the cars. 3 meant people. People meant an audience. I grabbed my bag and walked inside. The door hadn't even closed before my brother's voice cut through the house. "So it's true, you got fired?" He was sprawled on the couch, phone in hand, not even bothering to sit up. "Laid off," I said. "There's a difference." "Same thing," he shrugged. Then he looked at my mother. "So what about the bills?" That was the first question. My mother, Susan Donovan, sat at the table, fingers wrapped around a mug. She didn't look at me. "Claire," she said, "sit down." Her tone wasn't worried. It was procedural. "How did you know?" I asked. "Someone from your office posted about layoffs," my brother said. "Small town." They had known. They had known before I walked in. I sat. "You should have warned us," he added. "I've got payments due." I almost laughed. But nothing about that room was funny. Let me go back further, because that moment didn't happen overnight. I graduated from Penn State at 22 with a degree in accounting and a job waiting in Philadelphia. I moved, worked, built everything from scratch. At 24, I started sending money home, small at first, groceries, utilities. At 27, my father lost his job. I took over the mortgage. At 30, my mother stopped working entirely. At 32, my brother dropped out of college. By 35, I was paying everything. Mortgage, insurance, bills, his car. I never tracked the total, but it was a life built on transfers no one acknowledged. Then came the car. My brother wanted a new one. Of course he did. "Just co-sign," my mother said. "No," I said. "He needs responsibility." Silence followed, days of it, then weeks, then guilt, then pressure. I signed. The same day, I made another decision. I called Ethan. "Let's build something," I said. And we did, quietly, slowly. A consulting firm, small business clients, late nights. No one at home asked what I was doing, so I didn't tell them. By the time I lost my job, the company was already standing. Not huge, but real. And I had a plan. 6 months. Then I'd leave my job and move to Chicago. Before leaving, I was going to pay off the house completely. A gift. I even wrote the note. I deleted it the night they packed my things. Back to the living room. My mother folded her hands. "Your brother needs your room," she said. I blinked. "You want me to move out?" "It makes sense," she replied. "You don't have a job." Just like that. Decision made. That afternoon, while I was still at work, I walked down the hallway and opened my door. Half my things were gone. The picture from my graduation was missing, the nail still in the wall. My father walked in behind me carrying a box. He started packing. "Dad," I said. He didn't look up. "Your brother needs stability," he said. "You'll be fine." 4 words. You'll be fine. I picked up the box myself, carried it outside. No one followed me. I drove until I couldn't see the house anymore. Then I stopped and cried. Not because I lost a job, because I lost something I didn't realize I was still hoping existed. I called Ethan. "I'm coming," I said. Chicago felt different from the moment I landed. Quieter in my head. Cleaner. I moved into a small apartment. 1 bedroom. Bare walls. For the first time, I opened my bank account and didn't subtract anyone else's life from it. The payments were still running, every month. I didn't stop them immediately. I told myself I needed time. But really, I was waiting. Waiting for someone to call. No one did. 2 weeks passed, then my phone rang. My brother. "Hey," he said casually. "Car payments due." That was it. That was the moment. I opened my laptop and wrote the email. Clear, professional, final, 30-day notice. Every payment listed. Every date specified. No emotion. I pressed send and slept better than I had in years. The next morning, chaos, calls, messages, accusations. Not one, "Are you okay?" That told me everything. The weeks after were hard, but also quiet, peaceful in a way I hadn't known before. The company grew, clients came in, work filled my days, and slowly my life became mine. Months later, everything came to a head. At our office opening, they showed up, uninvited, demanding answers. But it wasn't their house anymore. It wasn't their stage. And for the first time, I didn't shrink. I stood there and told the truth, not loudly, just clearly. My father apologized. My mother didn't. My brother blamed me. And I realized something in that moment. Apologies don't fix everything, but clarity changes everything. Today, I live in a city where no one expects me to be fine for them. I run a company I helped build. I decide where my money goes, and more importantly, where it doesn't. I still talk to my father sometimes, carefully, slowly. My mother? Not yet. My brother sends messages occasionally. They still sound the same, but I don't respond the same. And that's the difference. My name is Claire Donovan. I'm 35 years old, and for the first time in my life, I stopped being the solution to everyone else's problems. If you've ever been that person, the one who holds everything together while no one notices, I want you to hear this. You are allowed to stop. Stopping isn't selfish. It's necessary. And sometimes, the people who call you selfish aren't losing you. They're losing what you did for them. That's not the same thing. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been the strong one? Or did you learn the hard way what that really costs? Take care of yourself first. I didn't think the story would continue after that night. I thought the hardest part was over. It wasn't. Because distance doesn't erase history. It just gives it space to echo. The weeks after the opening passed in a rhythm I wasn't used to. Work. Quiet evenings, long walks by the river. A life that didn't revolve around someone else's needs. And yet every now and then, something would pull me back. A notification. A memory. A name on my screen. It started with a letter. Not an email. Not a text. A real letter. Handwritten. It arrived on a Tuesday morning, slipped under the door of my apartment like something out of another lifetime. I recognized the handwriting immediately. My mother's. I didn't open it right away. I made coffee first. Sat by the window. Let the steam rise in slow curls while the envelope rested on the table like it was waiting for permission. Then I opened it. The paper was thin, the ink uneven in places. "Claire," it began. Not "Dear Claire." Just my name. "I don't know how to talk to you anymore. Every time I try, it feels like I'm saying the wrong thing. Your father says I should just say I'm sorry, but it doesn't feel that simple. Because if I say I'm sorry, I have to admit that everything you're saying is true, and I don't know how to live with that." I stopped reading for a second. That was the most honest thing she'd ever written. "I didn't think of you as someone who could be hurt. You were always the strong one. The one who handled things. The one who fixed things. I thought you didn't need the same things Megan needed. I thought you were different. Different." That word sat heavy on the page. I see now that I was wrong, but I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know if you'll let me. No apology. Not really. But something close to it. I folded the letter carefully and placed it back in the envelope. I didn't reply. Not yet. Because for the first time, I understood something clearly. An apology isn't just words, it's change. And I hadn't seen that yet. A few days later, my father called. "Did you get the letter?" he asked. "I did." He paused. I could hear the television in the background. "She's trying," he said. "I know." Another pause. "She doesn't know how to say it right." "I know that too. Are you going to answer?" I looked out the window. The city moved below me like it always did. Busy, indifferent, alive. "Not yet," I said. He didn't push. That was new. We talked for a few more minutes. About nothing important. The weather, his doctor's appointment, the tomatoes he was trying to grow again. Small things, but real. After the call, I realized something else had shifted. For the first time, he wasn't asking me for anything. Money, not solutions. Conversation. It was a start. 2 weeks later, something unexpected happened. My brother showed up. No warning. No call. I was at the office, going over numbers with Ethan, when Priya knocked on the door. "There's someone here to see you," she said carefully. "Who?" She hesitated. "Your brother." My chest tightened. For a second I considered saying no, but I didn't. "Send him in." He walked in like he didn't belong there, which, in a way, he didn't. He looked around the office first, the desks, the glass walls, the people moving with purpose. Then he looked at me. "You built all this?" he asked. "Yes." He nodded slowly. "I didn't know." I held his gaze. "You never asked." That landed. He sat down without being invited, leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "I'm not here to fight," he said. "Good." Another silence. Then he said something I didn't expect. "I got a job." I blinked. "Where?" "Warehouse. Night shifts. It's not great, but it's something," I nodded. "That's good." He looked at his hands. "I had to sell some stuff," he added. "The TV, the gaming console. Mom didn't like it." "That's not my decision anymore," I said. "I know." Another pause. Then he said it. "I was wrong. Simple. No explanation, no excuses, just that." I studied him for a moment. "About what?" I asked. He exhaled. "About you. About everything. I thought you'd always be there to fix it." That word again. Fix. "I'm not a solution," I said quietly. "I know that now." Silence filled the room again, but this time it didn't feel hostile. Just unfinished. "I'm not giving you money," I added. "I didn't come for that," he said quickly. I believed him, and that surprised me. He stood up after a few minutes. "Can I come by again sometime?" he asked. I considered it, then nodded. "Maybe." It wasn't a yes, but it wasn't a no. After he left, Ethan leaned against the doorway. "That looked intense," he said. "It was necessary," I replied. He smiled slightly. "You're different, you know." "I know." And for the first time, that didn't feel like something to explain. Months passed, not dramatically, not all at once, just slowly. My father kept calling every couple of weeks. My brother came by twice more, each time a little less defensive, a little more grounded. My mother didn't call, but she wrote again. Shorter letters this time, less explanation, more reflection. "I went through the bank statements," one of them said. "I didn't realize how much you were covering." Another one said, "The house feels different now. Not because you're gone, because I finally understand what you were carrying." Still no perfect apology, but something was changing, and I could feel it. The real shift came in November, Thanksgiving, the holiday I had avoided since I moved. I had planned to stay in the city, order takeout, treat it like any other day. Then my father called. "We're keeping it small this year," he said. I didn't answer right away. "Just your mom, your brother, and me," he added. A pause. "You don't have to come, I just thought I'd ask, not expect, not demand, ask." I looked around my apartment, quiet, comfortable, mine. Then I thought about the house, about everything that had happened there, about everything that hadn't been said. "I'll think about it," I said. "That's enough," he replied. That night I didn't sleep much. Not because I was anxious, because I was deciding. Forgiveness isn't a moment, it's a series of choices, and this felt like one of them. 3 days later, I booked a flight. The house looked the same. That was the first thing I noticed. Same driveway, same porch, same door, but it didn't feel the same, because I wasn't the same. When I walked in, no one spoke for a second. Then my father stood up. "Hi," he said. "Hi." My brother nodded from the kitchen. "Hey, hey." My mother stood near the table. She looked at me like she wasn't sure if I was real. "Claire," she said softly. "Mom." We didn't hug, not yet. Dinner was quiet, not awkward, just careful. Like everyone was aware that something fragile was in the room with us. Halfway through, my mother spoke. "I'm sorry," she said. Just that. No explanation. No justification. I should have said it before, I just didn't know how. I looked at her. Really looked at her. For the first time, I saw it clearly. Not authority. Not control. Fear. I know, I said. That was enough. We didn't fix everything that night, but we didn't need to. Because something more important happened. We stopped pretending. And sometimes, that's where real change begins. I didn't move back. I didn't start paying their bills again. I didn't become the person I used to be. But I stayed in contact. Carefully, honestly. With boundaries that didn't bend. Because I had learned something the hard way. You can love people without carrying them. You can care without sacrificing yourself. And you can forgive without forgetting who you had to become to survive them. My name is Claire Donovan. I'm 35 years old. I built a life that finally belongs to me. I didn't lose my family. I just stopped losing myself to keep them. If you've ever had to choose between being loved and being used, I hope you chose yourself. And if you didn't yet, you still can.